Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Cosmic Owl Astrology. I am Louise Eddington, your cyberpunk witch priestess to the stars. And with me today, I have a friend, colleague, Sonia Geary with me, and she's here to talk about moon families. But so let me just introduce her. She is a Hellenistic astrologer, astro coach, and astro mindfulness practitioner devoted to working with the moon, planetary cycles, and lived practice. She completed a 4-year training in Hellenistic astrology with Adam Ellenbass at Nightlight Astrology, graduating in 2024, and continues advanced study. She completed a 6-month mentorship with the Organization for Professional Astrology, or OPA, with me, and is currently studying Vedic astrology, which I find interesting because I'm suddenly drawn to kind of look at Vedic more a bit as well. But anyway, Sonia is a founder member of the astrology collective Asteri Sophia Kairos, if I'm saying that right. She has co-created and led workshops. Alongside her private practice, she facilitates Celestia Circle, a community exploring moon families and cyclical living. So welcome, Sonia. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this.
Of course. So, it's kind of funny. Sonia and I were scheduled last week. Everything just went wrong technically. So here we are recording today on Monday, the 26th. And the energy is just so much better already. So it's kind of funny how that happens, right? So
Yeah, we got the moon's day, moon in Taurus, and it just feels nice.
yeah, much nicer than the other day. But anyway, so it just goes to show maybe we should do more electional astrology, which I don't really do very much of because I just fit it in when I can. So anyway, Sonia, let's talk about moon families. What
Yeah.
are moon families?
Yeah, well, they can be a complex idea, but they do then get quite simple. When you think of how the moon works for us, like she is the planet that we can see most visibly. When we look up in the sky, unless it's a new moon where we can't see her, everybody looks up and says, like even people who've got no astrological knowledge will say, "Oh, isn't it a beautiful moon tonight?" And comment. So think how much closer she is than all the other planets. And she travels around every month, meeting all the other planets, and then shows us her full beauty as she reflects the sun's light at the full moon. So we all look up and admire her, like nearly everybody does. But she's also, with that closeness, she can bring those manifestations of the other planets down to Earth. And that's how the ancients viewed it, that she was that portal that the heavens could communicate with us on Earth through. And Cancer was also regarded as that portal. So the way I see moon families is a way of us just connecting in a deeper way. So we have the monthly cycle that the moon moves through that we're familiar with from the new moon, how it grows through to the full moon and then waxes down back to the new moon and releases. And this is just an extended version. So Dietrich Plessing coined the phrase because she was working in a call center in New York and she noticed that she was getting clients call in with crises. And they were always saying to her, 9 months ago, this happened, and now this has happened. And it was linking back. And she was thinking, well, there's no planetary cycle being activated, but it was the same part of the chart that they could add a new moon or a full moon in. And she was noticing that there was a quarter moon or a last quarter moon. And she was seeing those connections. So she started studying them and just connecting the dots. So she started talking about this concept and then teaching it. So I first noticed it. I'd attended a workshop with Frank Clifford that luckily I'd kept on my computer because I like all things moon related. And when there's also astrology by Celeste talks about them a lot. So she posts on Instagram the regular dates. And I had something important coming up. I was going live for the first time with the Stereosphere Kairos. and Astrology by Celeste posted the moon family, that last quarter moon family date. And I was like, oh my gosh, look at that. Because
Mm,
all the dates triggered my placements, my
mm,
Leo and my Scorpio placements. And I was like, this is my astrology journey from the
mhm,
very first time that I signed up for a like quiet little self-paced um
mhm,
astrology course that was for beginners, through to my certification and my first course, through to my getting my first certificate with Adam Ellenbass, and then through to this last quarter was my like live YouTube. And it was like,
mm,
wow, this whole story, but over 2.5 years. It was like long.
mm.
So it's
Could
like,
I
yeah,
just
okay. So I kept
could I
that
just
screenshot. Yeah.
ask for one thing?
Mhm.
Just what was the name of the person who you said was in the call center and noticed it? I didn't catch that name.
That's Dietrich Pessin. So she's written a whole book, and
Mm.
it's called Lunar Shadows 3.
Oh, hold it up for
So
everybody.
this is
So,
my little Bible.
and hold it up so I can see the name.
Is it down?
Dietrich.
Dietrich Pessin. So the name is,
There
yeah,
you go. I'll add that book to my
yeah.
Amazon store. I've got, one of those Amazon influencer stores. So
Mm.
I'll add that in so people can find it if they want to. So I just didn't catch the name. I was like, oh, what was
Yeah,
that?
I'm so
Okay.
used to saying it, but I might say it
Yeah.
so quickly.
Yeah. And
But she's really,
it's not a usual name for
no,
our
no. And I
English
wasn't even
language.
sure if it was a lady or a man at first with that
Mm,
name. And it's like, no, it's a lady, which is great because I love to shout out for the women
mm.
that,
Yeah, me
that
too.
discover something new. And it's like, of course, the moon's caught a lady's eye, you know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So, you kind of said quickly there at the end, about this journey over 2.5 years.
Mm.
Isn't it 27 months specifically?
Yeah, there's different ways you can look at it. So it goes 9 months to 9 months. So
Mm,
Dietrich Pessin called it a lunar gestation cycle. So it links into like the journey
mm,
of a child, and maybe some of their developmental cycles as well. If you think of them from the new moon when they're gestating in the womb and then they're being
mm,
born, and they've still got a journey to go from that to the first 9 months. Then maybe they're starting to walk and interact with you,
mhm,
and then another 9 months on, they're a different child. They're starting to be a toddler. Um,
mm,
so you can think of it that way, the way that a child would develop from the very first seed of conception through to 2.5 years old. But yeah, it's
mhm,
roughly 2.5 years. But she gives examples of, say, if there was eclipse involved, she's given an example of George Bush and Iraq and from
mm,
his first election. And then there's an eclipse involved and it goes through two cycles. So then it becomes a 36 month because it goes from the last quarter moon through to the next new moon cycle, starts a whole new cycle, which was
mm,
the Americans invading Iraq,
mhm,
and that whole cycle as well. And they linked because after that cycle finishes, there's then 9 months later a new moon again in the same part of the chart.
mm.
So if you
So,
work with decans, you quite often find it's in the same decan. It might
mm.
shift by degrees by a few bits, but it's often in the same decan.
And I refer to a previous interview. Actually, I'll link to that um, on this video where we talked about decans with one of your colleagues, right?
Yes.
Who's in your group. So, and anyway, I won't get sidetracked. But so, roughly speaking, just to kind of break it down for people, there's this greater kind of lunar family has the kind of same phases, right? The new moon, the first quarter, the full moon, the last quarter, and then the next new moon, all around the same degrees, but over a greater period, just to
Yeah,
kind of
that's
try and
exactly right.
simplify it. So,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, that's
yeah.
how it's like
Mm,
complex, but then
mm,
simple. Like if you
yeah,
understand the moon cycle, what
yeah.
you're really looking at is a longer story,
Mm,
but the idea is still the same. So that first 9 months, you're seeding something,
Mm,
but it's not visible. You don't want to do a business launch or something.
mm.
You want to keep it quite internal. You want to be doing the planning, the behind the scenes work.
And
And then,
is that if that new moon activates something in your chart?
yes,
So
absolutely.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Not just every time there's a new moon.
New moon.
No, no.
No. So you want to be selective and try and look for what's activating your chart. So the example I spoke
Mm,
of that worked with my chart, it was actually a 4-degree all branch. So it wasn't hitting
mm,
my placements exactly, which was why I was a little bit surprised that it spoke to me
mm,
so loudly. But it was angular placements. So that might have
mm,
made the difference. If it's angular, if it's cardinal, it, you might expect it to be louder and more significant for you. Um,
mm. So Sonia does have a couple of slides, so maybe we'll just look at one and try and break it down for people more clearly. Because I find it fascinating, this work, and I've started to look at it more and more myself, because it also resonates because most people know that I work with the Venus cycle, which also has that 9 months energy, right? So we have a Venus star point, which is a conjunction with the sun to the next conjunction with the sun every 9.5 months too. So isn't it interesting that these feminine energies, so to speak. You can share the thing while I'm talking. Um,
mm.
that these feminine energies all have this kind of pregnancy cycle, if you like, as well. So anyway.
It's doing that weird switch to another desktop thing. I don't know what it quite
Oh,
do.
oh.
Oh,
It said it was starting to share. So
hmm.
hmm,
Switch to that desktop to continue sharing. I can't really switch meeting. Um,
no. Do you want to email them to me quick while we talk, and I'll share? See if that works.
oh, did that come up?
No. Mhm.
No.
Well, see, this is the world at the moment. We're having all these technical
Yes.
things for so oh, there we go.
Oh, there
There we
we
go.
are.
Mhm.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Okay. There.
So we didn't wanna make this too presentation-y, so we're just gonna these are just to help clarify,
Mm.
some of the things we're talking about so that people can really kind of tune into what it means, okay?
Yeah.
So
So this is
so is
just
it
summarizing what I've just said. So you've got the name there, Dietrich Pessin, and the book, Lunar Shadows, and
mhm.
get the book 3 because she's done a table of all the moons, which I
Oh.
use. I write in my Substack every new and full moon,
Mm,
and I use that table in the back where she's given
mm,
me the new moon, the date, the degrees, all the
mm.
information, and the moon family that follows. So she,
That's kind of her.
yeah,
Because
make sure you get,
it does take a little bit of working it out yourself if you,
yeah.
don't have
Yeah,
that
you
table.
can
Yeah,
work it out. So you could
yeah.
look
Mm,
at all the moons coming up this year,
mm,
pick the ones that are aspecting your chart, and then just add
mm,
9 months on. And you
mhm.
wouldn't be far wrong, but you might not know exactly what the degrees were, what the dates were.
Yeah.
But she's done all that work for us. So,
So
yeah.
just at the bottom bit, so these are the 4 kind of phases, right? So mhm,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So
So
we're not looking at all 8 phases. It wouldn't
mhm,
match, but it's so the sun and the moon are connecting. They're still in
mm,
that phase relationship where they're moving
mhm,
through that new moon cycle, through that first quarter cycle, but the moon is the
mm,
one has returned to that same part of the chart. So,
mm,
say it's activating zero Aries, which is on our minds today as Neptune is moving into that point. So, if the moon was at zero
mhm,
Aries, the moon will return to zero Aries, but it's the sun that will have progressed to make the first quarter relationship. And then on the full moon, the sun would be in Libra and the moon would still be at
mm,
zero Aries. And then the sun would be at the last quarter in Capricorn to still
mm.
be at zero Aries. And
Okay,
then,
let's
yes, you're
move on.
looking at,
If people
mm,
want to take a screenshot of that just for, simplicity, well, if they're not ready to buy the book yet, although,
yeah,
I intend getting that book to add to my million other books
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Got
because I have
loads of
read
fantastic
articles on it and
examples. Yeah.
mhm,
And a lot of
yeah.
technical detail that I'm not sure like, I fully understand yet, but I'm hoping
Well,
the more
and
I
we
work
don't
with it,
need
it
to.
will. Yeah.
Yeah, we deepen our knowledge over time, right? All of these things, and
Yeah.
I think we deepen that understanding through working with it rather than
Yes. Yeah.
just
And
the
it's like I've
reading.
got it there when I need to go and look something up. It's like I
Yeah.
can go to it as my reference. So yeah, there's the 4 stages again, that
Mm,
intention, the beginning, the impulse to change. Like it was a very sudden decision
mm,
for me to start the course. I've been thinking I need to learn about astrology and I've been Googling things, but I saw
mm.
this course and I just signed up for it. It was like, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
And since then, it's been a rolling ball. You know, it hasn't stopped. I've constantly been learning, having mentoring,
Mhm.
you know, reading,
Oh, yeah.
everything, all the
Yeah,
things.
as we all do.
Yes.
And
It's
I
been fun.
I love kind of thing how we all find our main focus, you know, which mine has clearly been Venus, but I see the relationships between these. So, you know, anyway, let's move on to the next slide
Yeah.
and quickly talk through
So
the.
here is an example, and this is one that Frank Clifford
Oh,
gave. And this is the,
it hasn't moved on yet.
oh,
Mhm.
okay, that's weird. Has it moved now?
So nope. Hmm. So by the way, while Sonia's looking at that, this
Mm,
is just the energy at the moment. We've got Neptune right at the end of, um, at the very last minute of Pisces and about to move into Aries, plus some other things and technical things are weird. But anyway, Frank Clifford is a British astrologer who runs London School of Astrology. That's right.
mm.
So he
Has it
and
come back now?
yep, we've got that one now. So this was George Bush's, right?
Yeah. So this is the example of the new moon, first
Mm,
quarter, full moon, and last quarter. And this was aspecting his Uranus, and he's got Uranus, and I believe it was the North Node on his
mm,
chart. Shall I?
mm. Oh, we don't need it's fine.
Yeah,
People can go and look for themselves.
yeah,
It must have been aspecting his chart, or it wouldn't have had such a big impact. Let's just say,
yeah. So in
yeah.
Gemini, so yeah, going from announcing his candidacy, winning the nomination, the election being decided, and then ending with the terrorist attacks. So you can
Mm,
see how that story was playing out, but you can see
mm,
how it wasn't fully complete
mm,
in that moon family. And then there's a second story starts with him selling that invasion, convincing people that
mm,
it's necessary. Then the US invades, Saddam Hussein is captured, and
mm,
then he is nominated for a second term. So there's
mm.
still that story playing out. But it's like that
Definitely.
last quarter is like this crisis. What are we keeping? What are we going to release?
Mm,
What are we carrying forward into the next story? Uh,
mm.
and
And
it is
that's
important to release at that point. And I think
mm,
that's useful timing for us to know that we should be releasing some of the old
mm,
story there. Um,
yeah. And as Dane Rudyard called that last quarter, generally the crisis in consciousness. So it's like,
yeah.
you know, what are we? You know, where is our consciousness at that last quarter phase, I would say. And yeah, what do we need to release? Yeah, and
Mm,
crisis, by the way, means crossroads. There you
yeah. Yeah. And
go.
a call to action, really. You have to take
Yeah.
some action, something pushing you to take action.
Mm,
Um, and this was mine. So this was the Astrology by Celeste graphic that she posted.
mm,
Um, and the degrees, which, like I say, were within a 4 degree orb of mine at 18 degrees, um, and
mm,
Scorpio and Leo. But then there's the dates of my like significant movements through my astrology
mm.
journey, my first certificates.
And
Begin-
so, what was that November the 4th, 2021 conjunction new moon aspecting on your chart? Just out of interest.
It was Mars and Jupiter.
Mm,
So angular Mars and Jupiter in Scorpio and Leo. So
mm.
exciting. So it was like, yeah, okay, once you start this, it's
Yeah,
the
and
nice looking.
And which angle? Because just for my own kind of understanding and learning. So you said it was
They're square.
angular, but
Yeah,
square.
they're on the
Yes.
fourth and seventh
Okay.
houses.
Okay.
The,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then the square to each
Yeah.
other.
Oh, no. And really, I asked because the Sagittarius, 28 degrees Sagittarius new moon that we've had in,
Mm.
in December was exactly conjunct my ascendant. So I'm going to look at that moon family then.
Yes. Yeah, you need that moon family.
Mm,
If you
mm,
search on Substack for my post, I'll have put that
mm.
moon family in
Okay.
there.
Mm.
So you'll have the
And
graphic and everything.
for everybody else, your Substack is
Um, Sonia, Celestia Astrology.
there you go.
Oh.
Okay, cool. Just so everybody can find it.
Yeah.
So, okay, but we're going to look at the Capricorn new
Yeah.
moon that we had on January the 18th. So,
Because this is
okay.
where we are right now. So
Mm,
you can have a think about if this is aspecting anything in your chart. And of course, we've got an example of where there'll be a lunar eclipse coming up as part
mm,
of the story. So we can think about how Ditcher Pessin says that quite often when there's an eclipse, and I'm trying to catch this and watch this for myself, but obviously it's a longer period of time.
mm,
So obviously the ladies that I'm working with in the Celestia Circle, we're trying to watch that as well. But this is the first
mm,
one that's got a lunar eclipse in.
mm,
So we're going to have to see how it plays out over time. Um, but it's been fascinating working in this circle because what we're doing is pulling at threads. What I found is sometimes they're not always aware. Say we get to a full moon, it's making them think back to those dates of the new and the first quarter and realize that there
mm,
is a story there, that it is impacting their chart, and that there is a story that they've come to at the full moon and joining the
mm,
dots between what happened at the new and the first quarter so that they can tease that out. And then they're more aware of what's happening now at the full moon and what
mm,
will be coming up at the last quarter as well. So it's just bringing that awareness of what the moon is bringing to us, the gifts that she's offering us, and just
mm.
grounding in that time as well, um, which is really beautiful.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And, I hate to kind of go back to Venus again,
Mm.
but we recently, and I can't remember the exact date, just had a new Venus star
Mm.
point, as we call it, in Capricorn. It's 16 Capricorn. And the next Venus star point, which is in Scorpio, but on the same timeline, is in
Mm.
October. So these cycles are clearly working together. So
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I mean,
I'm gonna be investigating that a bit more because of my work with Venus. So there
oh,
you
do
go.
let us know. I'd love to
Mm,
know because they're both like night set planets, aren't they?
mhm.
They are close
Well,
together in the
if you
sky. So,
so Sonia is a Hellenistic astrologer, and they talk about the astrology of sect a lot, which
mm,
is an interesting tool in itself. I don't personally use it, but
love that.
yeah, because I'm a modern astrologer, but
Yeah.
always work. So as I say,
Yeah,
they.
it's nice to see that sympathy between them.
Mm,
If,
mm,
if their longer cycles are, these are kind of like the hidden layers and nuance of astrology. There's like the visible stuff that everybody knows,
mm,
like that monthly cycle, but the Venus star points and these moon families are like the ones you have
mm.
to dig a little bit deeper to find.
Yeah, I'm gonna investigate how they work together more. So
Yeah.
I need to order that book right now to get that table of dates and cycles. So anyway,
Yeah.
keep going.
Oh,
Sorry,
I'd
this
love
is
to hear
about
what you
the moon.
find.
Mm,
Yeah. So this is the moon that we've just had, the cycle that we're currently in. So that was at 28 Capricorn. So
mm,
the dates, if that's activated anything in your chart, and interestingly, this is my MC. So I love that you've
mm,
invited me. Like we had problems with the
mm.
link, and it was my friend Krista going on your show that said, no, no, contact Louise. So I was writing to you. So it's the way that the timings worked out to bring me here
Mm.
now.
And of
Um,
course, Capricorn is and Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn or guide, as I prefer,
yes.
is
Yeah.
is all about timing and time. So there you
Yes.
go. Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
And the
and
time that I've been working with this already and the time that I spent with
mm,
you in the mentoring process, which was absolutely brilliant, which I highly recommend
Thank you.
if you're working with astrology, you want to book in
Mm. I
Louise's.
have spaces left for my next one, which is
You
starting
do.
soon. So if anybody is interested in joining my mentoring circle for OPA, then I'll put the OPA's link below as well. But thank you for saying it was brilliant. Thank you. But
You were so generous with your time, and I learned so much. And even this Celestia Circle was founded from an office hours with you that we discussed, and you
it's
inspired it.
awesome.
So,
Woo, I love that. So
yeah,
Capricorn 3, it says. Why is that Capricorn 3?
Capricorn 3. So it's in the decan of Capricorn 3. So I work
Okay.
with the Capricorn stories. So this is the
Okay.
story
Hmm.
of the throne, the big desk. It's kind of like where the buck stops. It's the weight that the
Hmm.
person is carrying. That's kind of the
Hmm.
story of this Capricorn thing, that you've kind of got this builder architect
Mm,
story that runs throughout Capricorn. But here is like where you've achieved that. You've kind of reached these dizzying heights. But it's like,
mm,
okay, now you've got the responsibility and all the weight that that carries. And
mm,
what are you going to do? You've got responsibilities to care for those that you look after
mm,
as well. Your decisions have
mm,
consequences. So it carries all of that story of the
mm.
decan of Capricorn 3.
So it was Krista, by the way, who I interviewed on Decans, and she, I really encourage you to go and look at that. But I'm not suggesting that we have to all do all these techniques, right? My intention with these things, is to highlight how Sonia's working with it. Each astrologer, we all end up having our own kind of real specialization, if you like, that we're really tuned into. And I just really encourage people to see how really they kind of all converge, so you don't have to use the decans as well as this and as well as that, unless you choose to explore them. I know it seems a lot, but as we deepen and understand our knowledge of astrology over time and the cycles, we begin to see how they really all kind of speak to each other and converge. Um, so if anybody's going, "Oh my goodness, this is a lot,"
Yeah.
if it speaks to you, I encourage you to explore it. By following Sonia's blog, and on Substack, and just seeing if it tunes in for you and if that work calls you, because there's so many ways into understanding the deeper cycles in astrology. So there we go.
And if you want to work with moon families, I do
Mm,
the Celestia Circle. So you can just join
mm.
up to my Substack membership and I'll guide you through them. You don't have
There
to
you go.
figure this all out for yourself. I'm doing the work, so you don't have to. And we'll just guide you through
Mm,
it. I'll give you the
there you go.
resources and make it easy for you. Um, so,
Awesome.
but those are the dates if this is activating your chart.
Mm,
And if you're
mm,
experiencing this story of leadership and consolidation right now, that's
mm.
what we're working for. So yeah, this is a longer story,
Mm.
but you're planting the
So,
seeds right now.
so I'm kind of assuming that because this Sagittarius new moon, also at 28 degrees, was a month before this one, that all the cycles will be about a month before as well. So it's that,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, roughly. The new moons, and then you've got the full moons again going back
Hmm. Hmm.
18 months
Cool.
before.
Okay, let's move on. This is,
So then we've
you
got
know, this
the
this is
Leo.
helping me understand this cycle at a deeper level, because I got introduced to it by Celeste a little as well. So, and an article somebody shared with me. So I hope it's helping other people to see if this calls them or if it's something they would like to track in their own charts. So anyway, let's
Yeah.
move
If you're
on.
struggling
Yeah.
with it, just always think of the monthly cycle and then just
Hmm.
expand it out by 9 months.
Yeah.
And just think
Yeah.
of it grown and expanded and into this
Hmm.
longer story. And it's just more about a timing technique to tell you where you are. So like if you're getting frustrated that nothing's growing, you might
Hmm.
be in a releasing stage of the cycle for that story, for that
Hmm.
particular part of your chart. And it just helps you know where you are in the story of that particular cycle.
Yeah.
So this is
Okay.
the Leo full moon that we're coming up to at the beginning of February. So
Mm,
we had the new moon for it was back in August 2024. Um, so that would have been quiet and internal, like
mm,
a desire for who you truly are, because this was at 12 degrees. So this was the decan of Leo 2. Now that is a double Jupiter decan. So this is about success and victory and visibility. It's Austin Coppock talks about a crown of laurels. So it's
mm.
very much about everything Jupiterian. It's buoyant and
Um,
loud.
Austin Coppock wrote a book on the decans, by the way, which is a
Yes.
great book.
Right. Was it?
I think it was out of print. I don't know if he's reissued it, but anyway.
Yes. He's been talking about the rewrites for as long
Okay.
as I've been an astrologer.
Mm, yeah. But anyway.
I've been hoping to buy that rewrite.
I'm sure we can find a copy though somewhere if people want it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but there are PDFs and writings and things that you can find.
Mm,
And I
mm,
also use the Wild Way Guide. She does beautiful little cards of wild
mm,
animals, and she's like reproduced them, and she calls it deck and visibility
mm.
and victory.
Okay.
Victory, sorry.
Yeah. Anyway.
But
Yeah.
something that you're working towards, like really achieving. But it starts with this desire to like align, like all the fire signs
Mm,
about authenticity. Um, and really being who you are. So there's something that you've outgrown that you want to release, maybe a role that somebody else put upon you that doesn't fit anymore. And then the
mm,
first quarter in May 2025 would have been confidence, effort, self belief being tested. And you needed to take some action around that to
mm,
realign yourself back to this truth of who you are. Uh,
mm,
and then this full moon on the 1st of February, you're getting some feedback, consequences. Like, did you do that work well? In which case, you're going to experience some of this victory, some of this success taste.
mm,
And it isn't always positive. Jupiter isn't always positive for all of us. He's not always in a great place in our charts. So it might
mm,
be, it, you know, I don't want to burn anybody's bridges, but it could be negative feedback as well.
mhm,
If you didn't do the work to be truly authentic, if you're still in those
mm,
old roles, it might be negative, but it's still asking you to recognize that that's what's going on.
mm,
There's still time um, to, as you move into the last quarter, to release what what you were holding on to edit that role before you move into a new cycle. So
So
it's
what
this
what
long story.
what orbs would you use for these in relation to, say, a conjunction with a planet on that new moon?
Yeah. Yeah,
What
I
orb?
would now
What
say 5 degrees.
five?
With
Mm,
traditional astrology, we work with three, but
mm,
having had my own experience now with this 4 degree being
mm.
so loud, um, I would now say up to five, maybe,
But-
especially if
Yeah,
it's applying. If it's separating,
yeah.
maybe less. Um,
Okay, yeah. Because I have my Uranus at 20 Leo, which is quite far from that 12
yeah,
degrees. But but it was applying, so
mm,
this resonates quite a bit actually. So,
yeah,
so
dates.
but also I guess it's exactly um aspecting my Gemini moon. So maybe that was
Mm,
it more
yeah,
because it was a
yeah,
lunar journey.
because aspects can matter as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I always say, like, obviously the fire signs. If you've got
Mm,
placements like around those degrees in the fire signs, if
mm,
like where the sun is in your chart, if there's an exalted ruler, where that is. Also,
mm,
if it's the ruler, if the sun is the ruler of your solar return, like have a look at that.
mm.
Or
Well, also, my Gemini moon is opposing Jupiter, which is my ruling planet, and this is a Jupiterian
yes,
one, as you just explained. So,
mm,
I'm not trying to complicate things for people. I'm just trying to say, really you have to tune into the whole chart and kind of understand the whole energy of it, rather than. This is why I'm not a big fan of cookbooks, as I call them, of saying one aspect means this, because it's, it's more complex than that. And that's why I think we have to really kind of tune into and let these energies speak to us and say, what are they telling us? Right. And I think you work the same way, Sonia. Right.
I do, yeah, and
Hmm.
absolutely, and especially at the time of the full moon,
Hmm.
because you can look back at those dates, and if they're speaking to
Hmm.
you, then it's your story.
Hmm.
If those dates are meaningful and the themes are meaningful, then you are in the story. um, and it's going to be important to recognize the full moon and the last quarter moon as timing for you.
Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. Well, I'm not going to go into why this speaks to me so wild, so
Yes.
strongly, but let's just say I was a little late getting on the call with Sonia because I'm rewriting an ebook that I created like, whoa, so long ago. And I'm bringing like more of what I do now into it because I've grown and developed.
Mm.
And it's a lot to do with this cycle about
I love that. Yeah,
what
especially
I,
for the Gemini as well. And it's funny because I've
yeah.
got the moon. I did wonder about putting the moon there, but I thought, no, it's a moon family.
Hmm. Yep.
The moon and
So
Leo.
anyway, so anyway, there you go.
Yeah,
So anyway, keep going.
yeah.
So yeah,
So
this is
all
the
I've
current
got
one if it speaks to you.
left is,
So
yeah.
how to work with it? Yeah, find your
Mm,
current moon family. Yeah. Now,
yeah.
uh, I like this. People, we don't need to go through all this. People can read it, but while they get
Mhm.
chance to read it, is there a? I know in astrology, like in Venus, we talk about the prenatal Venus star point. A lot of people work with prenatal eclipses. Is there evidence that we have a personal moon family from the new moon prior to our birth? Have you explored that
Mm,
at all, or would that be a good one to
I
look at?
haven't, but wouldn't that be wonderful?
I bet there is, you know.
What a good idea. I'm going to have to, yeah.
And
So,
I'll give that thought to you. I might be wrong, but intuitively
mm,
I just go, well, because it's the moon and is about birthing and
mm,
and creation. I wouldn't be surprised if we have kind of a moon family that is kind of embedded in our psyche.
yes. Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely. How exciting. Oh, I love to have a new idea.
I can't
Exploring
explore
that.
every idea myself, so I'll let Sonia
Yeah.
and her little group explore that one too. So
Yes. Yeah. I will bring that
yeah,
to the circle and see what you think.
mm, mm, yeah. And I have an idea for you, which I'll talk about when we've finished this, actually. But so this is,
Mm,
kind of the last slide, so that
mm,
again, we've given people chance to look at it. Please
mhm,
follow Sonia's um, Substack. And then if the work calls to you even more, you might want to go and get that book or join Sonia's Substack membership, which you can just do by becoming a paid subscriber on Substack and exploring it deeper. Because all of these, I think I'm going to call them newer kind of explorations are really important for this time we're in, I think, because many of us astrologers who do a lot of videos and talk about the mundane times we're in, we are in a time where we've really never been in before. And I think these kind of cyclical kind of works are really important for us to grow from the inside out, really, I would say, to
mhm.
understand ourselves at a really deeper level. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's
Mm,
connecting us to something greater than ourselves, and it
mm,
anchors. I know that's how it works. It anchors me when things
mm,
feel overwhelming or too much.
mm,
It gives me just that understanding that there's something greater going on. That I'm part of
mm.
these cycles. I'm participating in them. I'm
Yeah.
working with them, um, and it's sort of reassuring and validating
Mm,
and comforting as well.
It is, and that's exactly what the Venus cycles do for me as well,
Mm.
both personally and on a greater kind of scale. So, it's I just love how it just seems that they're working together as well, because the Venus star point cycle is every 9.5 months approximately. It's not
Yeah,
exact. And then it has also these greater cycles too, just like this lunar family cycle. So maybe we need to do a little collaboration somewhere as well.
it'd be fun.
Researching, but I have an idea on that one that I will talk to you afterwards. But so is there anything else you kind of want to add to about this work and how you work with it with individual clients, let's say?
Well,
Do you notice clients coming to you if the moon family activates something in their chart? Because I notice
mm,
people come to me, either a Venus star point is activating something or they have a major Pluto transit, because I've
mm,
had many Pluto transits. So
yeah,
so they seem to be drawn to work with me because I understand Pluto transits. So
yeah,
I'd find that interesting if you notice that clients come to you when their moon family is being or the moon family is activating them in a
active.
big way. Yeah?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it has worked like that. And even before I'd set up the circle to work with the moon families, I was
Mm,
doing that kind of thing and saying, "Well, do you want to
mhm,
join the circle?" Because initially it was kind of coaching and looking at the charts.
mm,
I'm setting up coaching programs that are going to use the moon families as well as the
mm,
foundation of coaching, um, so that we can work. If you want to achieve a goal, you can use the energy of these moon families to support you. I could look ahead, find the moon family that's going to work ideally for you to achieve
mm,
that goal as well.
mm,
Let's say, for example, Frank Clifford used an example of publishing a book. So you could use like a Gemini moon cycle that supports you in
mm,
doing these longer projects and like really use that energy, but also really tailor to your chart,
mm.
your individual chart. If you've got planets that are really working well for you, to really time it perfectly with that.
Interesting. Yeah.
But you're not pushing when the energy is asking you to rest. That's the hardest
Yeah.
thing. Is our society is asking us to be pushing all the time, to have our phones on all
Oh.
the time, our emails on, and it's like actually these cycles are telling us there's a time to work and push forward and adjust, and there's
Mm,
a time to rest and pull back and
mm.
release. And I think June,
And that doesn't mean not working. It's more about working
yes,
with what you've already created, right? Rather
yes.
than pushing to create more or, you know, or
Yeah, and I think
yeah.
when you're
Mm,
aware of that and you're in tune with it and in flow with it, what you achieve is so much better.
mm,
That's how I try to work myself as well, like in tune with my own
mm,
cycles as well. It doesn't
mm.
always work that way. Things get rescheduled, or
Oh,
the sudden work comes in, or
yeah,
different
of course it
things.
does. But
So, for
but then
example,
I also think those things teach us something. But sorry, your
yeah.
example. What was
Yeah, for example, we weren't going to do, we do eclipse workshops and initially in the Asterosphere Kairos group, and we weren't going to do one. And then we just thought, no, the Aquarius one, it's quiet because it's out of sign, but it's
mm,
asking for time and space to be held. So
oof,
so we have decided to hold an
mm,
eclipse workshop, and it's really going to be more casual and an informal
mm,
chat, but we are offering
mm,
that free to all of our paid subscribers. So if you're subscribing to any of the Asterosphere Kairos astrologers, so that includes Krista, who you talked to last time,
mm.
uh, or to the
And
Asterosphere Kairos
and
account
who
myself.
else? Who else
So
is in it? Just for everybody listening?
So we've got Mandy Ray, who I believe you work with.
Mhm,
We've got Shauna from Smart Astro. She's on Substack and she's on
mhm,
Instagram. And Janessa, who's by Jove
mhm,
Astrology. So I
mhm,
hope I haven't forgotten anything. Anybody? Krista, Practical Astros,
mm,
Mandy Ray, Shauna, myself.
mm.
There's 5 of us.
Yeah. And
Shauna.
three of you were in my mentorship groups
Yes.
that you kind of but anyway,
Yeah,
so
so shout out to all of us. I mean, it's a really lovely collective of astrologers, all slightly different
mm,
approaches to astrology, which is lovely because we feel like we
mm,
cover all of the elements and all of the like main cardinal signs between us. So
Yeah.
it's lovely.
Awesome. So follow them, and I really encourage you to explore this work more deeply. I know I will, but at this point, the way I work, and I think probably the way all of us work when we're learning astrology, is we kind of explore it how it works within us first, and then maybe bring it into our outer work, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
I didn't mean to become an astrologer. I was just studying it myself for my own
Mm.
knowledge, but I think that moon family had other ideas
Oh, I think so.
when I look back on it.
And Sonia is a very good astrologer, so yeah.
Oh,
But
you. I
well,
appreciate
you
that.
are. You are. Yeah.
I do
And
this.
so yeah, so everybody, please, go find Sonia, follow her at least for free at first if you're not ready to kind of do the membership. But, sometimes we explore it and then join in, and so just again your website or whatever so people can go to find you right away. So
CelestiaAstrology.com. It's in transition, as I'm sure you can sympathise with. We're designing a new website, which I had hoped
mm,
would be out by now, but it takes longer than you think, doesn't it?
oh, mine took ages, but mine's out there now.
Yay!
So, yeah,
Congratulations. It looks
and I
great.
love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks, Sonia, for coming on. And, I have a feeling this was perfect timing that we did this
I think it
today.
was.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope you'll all connect with Sonia. Are you Celestia Astrology on YouTube as well?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Mm,
And
yeah.
that will have posts for the lunations,
Hmm.
the new moons, the full moons, and it'll give the moon families and how to work
Mm.
with them as well.
So I do a collaboration link now, so it'll have my channel under the video and Sonia's. So you can easily click through to her channel to go
Oh,
and subscribe to her as well. So there you go.
thank
All right.
you.
Well, for now, thanks. And please, if you've got any comments, leave them below for Sonia. And any questions, I'm sure Sonia will come back to the video and answer any questions, so long as they're not.
Oh,
Please don't ask for personal readings in the comments, so it's not fair on an astrologer. But, if you've got just, general questions about the technique or reminders of the book name and things, which I will put in the description, but, it's really interesting work. So thanks for coming on, Sonia.
oh, thank you so much for the opportunity. One more thought, if you
Mm,
wanted a reading based on your moon families,
mm,
just book a normal reading and then on the intake form, tell me you want to know about your moon families and
mm.
look into those for you. So we can do that.
Yep. All righty. So bye for now, everybody.
Thank you, Louise. Bye, everyone.